Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Fires upfield into the end zone. It is caught. Jelani Woods, touchdown! INDY! A 43-point night for Tyrese Halliburton.
How do you like that, button?
Renew now, drives in low, throws up a shot. It doesn't go. Tipped up and in by Anthony Leal. Indiana takes the lead.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Now, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio here on this Thursday, coming to you from Lucas Oil Stadium site again of the 2024 Big Ten Football Media Days. I'm joined by Coach Griffin, Shannon Griffin, and a lot to get to today. There's been a lot going on, Shannon. We're here at Lucas Oil, like I said, and you can tell that, stop that, huh? Sorry about that, peeps. Hopefully we may be able to get that fixed in post. But sorry about that. But yeah, the stage itself, the setup, much bigger this year. As soon as I walked in, normally they have the stage kind of in the corner, but I don't know if it's because of the added teams, but they have moved it just completely into the end zone, and it looks like a lot more seats out there for media to cover. But this is, and I know I'm being biased, but this is the absolute best place to have Big Ten football media days. It really is, because it's indoors. They're used to this, and it is pretty centrally located for most of the teams. Anyone, especially with it being Indianapolis, that is a number one city in America, in my opinion, on putting events on. But it's just a great venue. It was just announced that the football championship for the Big Ten will be returning for the next few years again, before it's probably moved off to a few other places. But we're back in Indy, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue. Lucas Oil has always been one of those iconic features of Indianapolis. I know I'd probably get argued with Cambridge Fieldhouse for the Pacers, but yeah, this is a great venue to have anything. I came in yesterday with, some of the new teams, and they had a pretty big contingent following with USC and UCLA. And there's a lot of neat things. They got a technology display that talks about the new setups for the sidelines in terms of the video that coaches now will be able to have on the sidelines, similar to what the NFL has. And that's a very unique setup that they've got going with TV Sport and iPads and things of that nature. So, Big Ten always, I think, does a top-notch job putting these type of days on. It's not easy. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes maneuvering that happens for everyone involved. But I think thus far, you got to be pretty pleased with everything that they've done. Yeah,
the new communication systems that are being put in place, not a lot has been talked about with that. And you mentioned to me yesterday that Indiana has not practiced with that system yet. So I'm wondering, obviously there's a reason why they haven't yet. I don't know what that is. We can talk to Curt Cignetti about that. He'll join us later on the program here today, I believe in the second hour. So stick around for that. But maybe that's something we can ask. We won't have him long, of course. But I'm wondering why. I would have thought that's something that they'd want to get out ahead of.
Well, I noticed when I was down at the spring game, because I would have thought that would have been the unique time to, at least put it into play with everything going on. And all I could discern from that was that they were not. So I'm making an assumption on my part. Maybe they did practice with it a couple times in the spring. I'd be surprised if they haven't. But some of that's logistics, because now you're talking about you have to buy the helmets that are equipped with those devices. And I'm not sure that's something that you can get turned around in a short period of time for your own program. But yes, you got the new helmet system that's going in. It's a 15-second exchange that can be taken between the quarterback and the OC or one of the linebackers and the DC. After 15 seconds, it gets shut off for the play to take place. And then again, I mentioned the sideline video, which is pretty phenomenal with what you think. It's a great teaching tool, and coaches will know who messed up on the sideline. They won't have to wait for Sunday film.
Yeah, and this communication device, while you have to say it was spurred on by Michigan last year, this is something that was probably going to be coming anyway as college football gets bigger and becomes more of a giant engine in financial engine. So that was probably coming regardless. I'm glad it's here now. You can get rid of all that stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see if it helps certain teams and hurts certain teams.
Well, exactly. I mean, the college football has been trailing behind the NFL when it comes to implementing technology that we have in today's game. Everything from the medical staff now utilizes technology to observe kids that have maybe gotten a very big hit on the field, that they can now analyze that hit to make a determination on whether or not that kid is concussed or not. But also, this enables another aspect of coaching that enables the teacher, which are the coaches, to be able to take plays that are on the sideline after a series, go through quickly with your players, especially like O linemen, for instance, and making sure that they're developing what they need for their game plan, as well as how defenses are playing them. So I believe they've been behind the NFL. I think this will ultimately catch them up. Yes, it's a money issue. Just alone the sideline video system for the coaches with the 18 iPads is probably in the neighborhood of $100,000 investment by each team. So that may have played a big part in all of this when you talk about money. But I think now you're going to have a better opportunity for coaches to communicate with players and vice versa, and you don't have to worry about the Michigan situation last year with live scouting and so forth and so on.
Absolutely. A lot going on. Is there are going to be 4 new teams, and Oregon, USC, very much offensive-minded programs. I don't know what UCLA is going to be like just yet, as well as Washington. New teams, new coaches there, so it's going to be interesting. Indiana playing UCLA, of course, and Washington off of that schedule. But it's going to be interesting to see who can benefit from that, because not like teams like Oregon, but Indiana are going to be a faster-paced type of offense, and this may allow them to get these plays in quicker, hit the defense quicker, not let them get set.
Well, that and the fact of the matter, that's what no huddle was utilized. So, implementing the tempo that you just talked about, where signaling or the cards would be placed up. Now, I don't know if teams will huddle more because the communication is direct to the helmet of the quarterback. That's the only one that has the system, or how they'll utilize signaling for the wide receivers to get the formation alignment. That will all be to be determined. But in the end, you have that direct communication between the quarterback and the OC, so there should not be any confusion on what is being called. How many times I had a quarterback said to me, I thought you signaled this, or you signaled that, or having a wristband that has 150 plays on it, and you're just utilizing a wristband calling system that you signal in what play number it is. I can tell you, filling out those cards that has 150 plays, you had mistakes in those cards. I mean, it's just human nature. So definitely going to speed that facet of the game up.
Absolutely. And looked at the overnight news with the Olympics that still haven't started, and more controversy in soccer, of course. I don't know what it is with the sport of soccer, but either violence or just raging whatever follows them. There was a match last night. I believe it was Argentina, and I forget who the other team was, but I think Argentina scored a late goal to equalize things at 2-2. And then after the match, the officials go back, call that goal off because of an offsides penalty. And I think they brought the teams back out again, which is just ludicrous. But the day before that, we had Canada spying on another team with a drone. And I'm like, this is the Olympics, people. Come on. And Russia is nowhere to be involved in this.
Yeah, to say that every country in the world is on the up and up when it comes to trying to get the competitive edge would be a false assumption. There's not a country in the world that doesn't look for how can we gain a competitive edge against our opponent. what is happening in the sport of soccer is just unexplainable. These countries, again, we know that around the world, soccer is a very popular sport with not only the fan base, but around the world. And what's happening with some of these fan bases, they're just getting a little bit over the top, and they just don't have very good crowd control when you come to stadiums to play a game, because they're right on top of you and they have easy entrance to the field. So I don't know what they can do to shore that up. But as far as the instant replay after the game to come back and try to rehash what happened and then take the point off the board, that to me sounds a little bit over the top. Let officials be officials. If you're going to have instant replay instituted, and do what you need to do.
Absolutely. At least let the games get started.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I've never seen such a thing as this is. It's crazy. And also, I just saw that Utah was awarded the Winter Games in about 10 years or 12 years, whatever it is. I don't even know. I just saw it's in the future. So we got that going for you. But mostly it's going to be Big Ten Media Days talk today. Curt Cignetti will be joining us in the second hour, like I said, and we're going to see if we can get some grab-and-go guests today, which we're usually always able to do that. You were here yesterday as well. What anything stick out yesterday?
No, I thought, both of the West Coast teams, UCLA and USC, of course, Riley was a very passionate speaker as it pertains to what brand he's bringing to the Big Ten and how excited he is to join the Big Ten. They feel that the Big Ten is going to give these kids an NFL feel, because everything is going to be more of a similarity to what they're going to experience in the NFL. So when you think about that stuff, it's one of those things that they can do with their players, their fans, even the recruiting aspect. USC, I think, signed at least 4 kids out of the Midwest, which was a big number for them, just because now moms and dads and family members are going to be able to see them play as opposed to them just being on the West Coast.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see the following that Indiana can pick up this year. There is, I think it goes without saying, there has been excitement lately for Indiana fans. The 20 season was fun. The 21 season was thought like it was going to be incredible, and it turned out not to be the case. And so Indiana fans are like, okay, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. So I still think while there is a undoubtable buzz for Indiana football, there's still people that are, I'll wait and see how this goes.
No question. I mean, I think everybody goes into the season with optimism based upon what you see on the black and white of things or what people may be talking about. But ultimately, it determines on the day of competition, which we're going to get started here probably within the next 40 days or so. But, yeah, I think everybody is hopeful that Coach Cignetti and his staff will get everything off on the right foot. They completely remade their roster in that regard. But not only them, but a lot of teams remade their roster when you talk about the transfer portal and what players were brought in and so forth and so on. USC did as well. I mean, they brought a lot of top tier portal guys to booster their lineup, as well as a defensive staff there at USC that garners NFL recognition, as well as some of the top coaches within college football that Lincoln Riley was able to lure to USC. It's a pretty astounding thing because their defense last year was absolutely atrocious.
One of the worst.
And
fired the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. And he has to have a defense that he can rely upon. And I think he feels that he's got the right mixture in the coaching staff with the kids that they have. And it's going to be an interesting aspect of things. The unique thing about that is the DC was Chip Kelly's DC at UCLA. So he was able to still coach from UCLA in the transition that happened at UCLA. And that defense at UCLA last year was one of the premier top defenses in the Pac-12. So it's going to be an interesting year to see how the West Coast teams intermix with the Midwest and vice versa. Oregon kind of laid their stake to the Midwest yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but they have the floating duck in the White River, which I thought was a unique, iconic way of introducing yourself to the Midwest.
I think it's a perfect way to aggravate longtime Big Ten fans because it's you already kind of had that thing with Oregon with all the jersey, the uniforms, and all the craziness. So I think I love that, though. I love the fact that they're coming out swinging and saying, hey, we're here, man, and we're not some Johnny-come-lately.
Well, that as well, and I don't know how Coach Walters or Coach Cignetti feels about them floating the duck in the White River when you think that Indiana is their hometown and they feel Indianapolis is their marketplace. But it was kind of a unique situation to view upon and get some of the back behind the scenes snickering that was going on with them doing that. But yeah, that's what makes these days type of fun, when you have somebody that's ready to come in and stir the pot. And it'll be interesting to see what happens today on tap. Yesterday was pretty, I would say, low key in some respects. Coach Rule from Nebraska, very impressed with him. What he's got at Nebraska, a defense that is basically senior, junior, latent. They had one of the top defenses in the Big Ten last year. Of course, you know what happened to them offensively. They could score points, but they had some tough games like IU did. But now they got a defense that he thinks can really raise the bar and ultimately raise them within the Big Ten.
Absolutely. And we've got plenty coming up here from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, site of the 2024 Big Ten Football Media Days, presented by Old National Bank. But we'll be back with plenty more. Coach Griffin, Jim Coyle here, be back right after this break.
This segment is brought to you by the Fresh Fork in Bloomington. This segment is brought to you by the Fresh Fork in Bloomington.
Yeah, that started the whole meltdown.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door. If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at Cheryl@IndyHomePros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@IndyHomePros.com.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf Community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Enjoy healthy, delicious meals at home without the hassle with the Fresh Fork. Chef-curated, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. proudly fueling IU athletes and now available to you with a menu that's always fresh and diverse, from hearty proteins to fresh salads. The Fresh Fork empowers you to make better food choices without compromising. Let the Fresh Fork help transform your lifestyle for a healthier way of living today at thefreshforkonline.com. Use promo code RADIO20 and get $20 off your first order.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, here on this Thursday, day 3 of the Big Ten Football Media Days, coming from Lucas Oil Stadium. As today, Curt Cignetti, amongst others, will be speaking. We need to get that full list of everyone that's speaking today. I know that UCLA, USC spoke yesterday, Oregon, Washington on day 1, so the West Coast teams are already out of here. I think Minnesota is speaking today. Yep. DJ Fleck will kick things off, I believe. And we look forward to being joined by Curt Cignetti here on the program today, and maybe Chris Denary later on. We're trying to get everything mixed in with the Big Ten Football Media Days going on. It's always a crazy time here. But early at the stadium, also, they've moved the times back a little bit with everything going on. And Oregon is up today. So the West Coast teams are not out. They're on today. I was thinking that they were Monday, but so Dan Lanning will kick things off today with his first appearance with the Big Ten media. Also, Washington's coach, is it Jed Fish?
Yes.
From a former coach at Arizona. It's going to be interesting to see what Washington can do, because, man, obviously they were spectacular last year, but that was with Kalen DeBoer and Michael Penix Jr. and Roma Dunze. Those last two are in the NFL, and of course, Kalen DeBoer is down in Alabama with most of his staff, except for his offensive coordinator, who's now with the Seattle Seahawks as their offensive coordinator. So plenty going on. What are you, Shannon? What are you looking to see or hear today?
Well, at media days, you don't really get a lot of tidbits other than the coaches, explaining what has been transpiring since now and then until we got till the day. But mostly, I think what I found interesting about yesterday was the kids that talked and how they handled themselves as well. I thought that was a unique thing. But I think a lot of coaches try to give you an idea of what they have coming back, who they got on their staffs, and that's about all they get that you'll get from them as it pertains to maybe a depth chart. I know some did release a depth chart yesterday. I don't know if Indiana will. There may be a preseason depth chart that they release, but that will be to be determined from Coach Cignetti and his staff.
Yeah, and that is something else I was curious about is the quarterback. When does he plan to announce who his quarterback is? I do not, I've said it a lot, I do not think this is going to be what Hoosier fans are used to, and that is finding out who your quarterback is when they go out to take the first snap in the first game. Not because, for a number of reasons. First of all, this staff is going to know who their guy is, because you can't not know going into day one, because you need him feeling the confidence. You need him having the confidence with that first group and getting the work with that first group, and that first group getting the work with him. So I think that will announce that. When, I don't know, but that's a guess on my part.
Well, if I'm guessing, I don't know Coach Cignetti personally, but if I'm guessing that he's going to hold that pretty close to the vest externally. Internally, I think it's already kind of been predetermined that Rourke will be the guy. That's not to say that he can lose it during fall camp, but I don't think you'll see an official announcement. Now, I could be totally wrong here, but I don't think you'll see an official announcement outwardly to the public until week 1 of the season when they open up at home there. But I don't think there's any secrets internally, is what I'm trying to say.
Let's grab our friend Bob Kravitz, who looks to be sitting back in the green room. Bob, sorry about the added problems today. I know that you had things to do as well, so thank you for being able to jump on.
Not a problem, my friend.
I'm here with Shannon Griffin. We're obviously at Lucas Oil Stadium as Big Ten Football Media Days going on, but also the Colts. They're getting started. And I know you have a piece out right now and regarding the Colts, and it's time for Big Blue to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a team that on paper really ought to win 10, 11 games. They won 9 games last year with a backup quarterback. I thought we saw that Shane Steichen is the real deal. You know, I mean, it all comes back to Anthony Richardson. How much progress did he make last year? You know, he only played parts of 4 games. Got the injury to his shoulder, which always scares the hell out of people in Indianapolis because of the Andrew Luck fiasco. But I think they're going to be a pretty good, pretty dynamic team, pretty explosive. That backfield of Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson, you know, back there, they're going to be dynamic. They really will be. I expect Jonathan Taylor to go for 1,500 yards minimum this coming year.
And Shannon, of course, I know you follow the Colts as well. This Bob thinks this, and a lot of people do, that this is one of the best teams they've had in a while. If Anthony Richardson can stay healthy, that's a big, big key. But the pieces they're there for a successful season.
Yeah, I think the key component is what you said there is, can Anthony Richardson stay healthy? I wasn't a big component of his draft. You know, the Colts, just from the standpoint, I just thought his accuracy lacked at the college level. But I think what Steichen has done with him can show you how well he can create a game plan around Anthony's strengths and stay away from his weaknesses. He's just got to keep him healthy, and that starts up front and making sure the Colts have what they need in those front 5. And Anthony can stay in the pocket, make correct decisions with the ball, and then I think offensively, I think the Colts can make a huge step forward.
Bob, what your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, keep in mind that Anthony Richardson played just 173 snaps last year, and he only played 2 snaps with Jonathan Taylor. So, I mean, imagine having a quarterback like, let's say, a Lamar Jackson and a guy who's gone for over 2,000 yards in the same backfield. You know, I don't think they're going to be afraid to let Anthony run. This idea that he needs to change his game and become a pocket passer it kind of takes away all the things that make him potentially special. So I think you're going to see a Lamar Jackson type of presence. I think you got the best running back in the league right now back there. And look, there are a lot of questions. There are questions about the secondary, about the tight end situation, about finding a second wide receiver. They're hoping that A.D. Mitchell can fill that spot. If not, then Alec Pierce. Maybe he comes on in his 3rd year. But they're pretty well established virtually everywhere else. And I think this is going to be a good team, a playoff team. And I truly believe that if they don't make the playoffs, that we've seen the last of Chris Ballard.
Your thoughts?
I wouldn't disagree with that because I think he's ample opportunity to put that type of team on the Colts. Agreed that, you know, with Taylor back in the backfield will help Anthony Richardson a ton because now they have a 2-headed monster back there because, look, I don't think you change Anthony Richardson. I think he's the ability to be mobile in the pocket and utilize him in different aspects of the offense is going to be a critical component for what Steichen's going to want to do. But having Taylor back there, having no controversy, are they going to bring him back? They're not going to bring him back that they had last year with him. All that's on the back end. And I think now the Colts have every piece of the puzzles to get themselves in a position to be a playoff team.
And that will be nothing more than exciting for Colts fans because the Colts fans have stuck through Indianapolis no matter what. Highs and lows. This is an incredible fan base, probably one of the better fan bases in the NFL, Bob.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, look, they've got a waiting list again, and I think people are look, people are juiced about every upcoming season, good, bad, or indifferent. But I think there's a really good reason for people to be excited about this season. Look, it could all go straight to hell. We've seen that before, but they've got a terrific offensive line, a terrific defensive line. This to me is the most complete team that Chris Ballard has built since the Andrew Luck, since the latter days of Andrew Luck in Indianapolis. You got to go all the way back to 2013, 14, 15, somewhere in there to find a team that was, constructed this well. I think this is Ballard's best team, and if they don't make the playoffs, then I think heads really do need to roll.
Well, there's absolutely, because it seems like every year that's a conversation that comes up. It's like, what are the Colts doing? Are they getting anywhere? Are they making any headway? And it seems like they've kind of spun their wheels for the last couple of years, and not for a lack of trying in some regards, but they just haven't been able to move forward, to move the program forward.
Well, now they got their quarterback, or at least they think they've got their quarterback. I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're on that carousel of quarterbacks where you're bringing in Matt Ryan, or what was left of Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Sam Ehlinger, God help us all, Nick Foles. So, they. Look, I think Richardson's going to have his moments where he struggles. He only played 173 snaps last year, parts of 4 games. Shannon talked about the lack of accuracy, but I think that's something they can build toward. I think that's something. You look at the kid with Buffalo, Josh Allen. Allen at Wyoming was a 50% passer in terms of accuracy. So I think that's something they can grow. He's never going to be Joe Montana, but he can do certain things that Joe Montana never could dream of doing. So not comparing the two, I'm just saying that he's got some unique skills that really make him a dynamic player.
Apparently, he's got a unique set of skills.
Absolutely. I know we're concerned about the Colts offense, and rightfully so. But what are your thoughts on this defense? I mean, last they were kind of the ones that gave the Colts offense, a chance in a lot of games. Whether they capitalized on it or not, it was a to be determined. But defensively this year, Bob, what is your thoughts on the defense?
Well, I think they had 51 sacks last year, which is an Indianapolis record. But I think they can be much better, and I think Latu is going to bring a lot of juice to that defensive line, especially the end, the defensive end. He's a special player, and he's got a great story. And if he can stay healthy, he's got a chance to follow in the footsteps of Mathis and Freeney, one guy in the Hall of Fame and another guy who probably should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. The only thing that scares me defensively is their cornerbacks and their secondary in general. They got Blackman at safety, but then you're looking at Cross or Thomas at the other safety. Not crazy about either guy right now, and they're putting a lot of faith in some young cornerbacks to play with Kenny Moore, who's the best of the bunch by far. But it's that's the only issue that I have really is their secondary. But if you can get more of an insistent pass rush that takes some of the pressure off your D-backs.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to be a big year for Coach Steichen as well. Can he show that he's got the pulse on what the franchise needs? And now that he has his quarterback, now that he has a running back to go with that, and some of the pieces, does he have everything he needs right now?
Well, not everything. I mean, he could use a tight end who can play. He needs secondary help. But look, they won 9 games last year with Gardner Minshew. Now, Gardner Minshew is the best backup quarterback in the league, or at least he was last year. But here's an amazing thing to me, that here's a team that doesn't have a lot of deep threats, and yet they were top 5 in the league in explosive plays. So that's Steichen. That's Steichen and Jim Bob Cooter, and that they were able to scheme their way to one of the better offenses in the league. You give them a healthy Anthony Richardson, a healthy Jonathan Taylor, look the hell out. I think they could be very much like what they got in Philadelphia with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts.
Moving on to Big Ten Football Media Days, Bob. Today, Curt Cignetti will be speaking along with Sharon Moore, the new coach at Michigan. You've got Dan Lanning opening things up today from Oregon, PJ Fleck from Minnesota, Michael Locksley at Maryland, Jed Fish, the new coach at Washington as well. So I don't think we're going to hear anything any revelations today. A lot of people wondered what Curt Cignetti was going to say. I'm like, he's just, in my opinion, he's just going to say, hey, it's we're proud to be here and we're looking forward to the challenge of being in the Big Ten. But he's not going to pull out the cards that he did under his introductory press conference at Assembly Hall. I'm pretty certain of that. But what are you expecting?
Well, I know he's going to be better than Deshaun Foster. Good God.
Is that possible to be worse?
What was that? Did he not get the memo?
Apparently not.
But no, I'm gonna go to Colts camp here in a few minutes, and then I'm gonna head on down to Lucas Oil and catch Cignetti and the IU players. I think they're about 1 or 2 o'clock, something like that.
Cignetti's at 12. Well, he speaks at 12:30. Yeah,
he's got his big presser at 12:30, but isn't he available then again at like 1 or something? I'll have to double check.
Yeah, the breakouts are in the afternoon.
Right. The breakouts are what's interesting, and those mass press conferences are dull, and they don't really tell you anything. But yeah, I'm curious, what he's thinking in terms of his quarterback situation. And look, this is going to be JMU West. They got a lot of JMU guys, on that team. And can they make the jump to the Big Ten? And that's a big question. I saw where Indiana and Purdue are being picked as the last 2 teams in the Big Ten. And quite frankly, I don't really disagree with that based on what we know. But look, new coach, new excitement. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's Indiana and people see Indiana as Indiana, and I understand that. I've said this numerous times. Not covering Indiana, you're not going to be aware of the fact that they have probably the top receiving core in the Big Ten, as well as one of the top defensive backfields in the Big Ten, and several other good things going for them that Indiana will not end up second or third to last in the Big Ten. I think they're going to shock a lot of people, Shannon.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any question that they're pieces that they were able to put together at the end of the spring definitely helped the defense in terms of stability. The pound that was wanted by everybody, everyone, freshman All-American from JMU, I think really solidified secondary. And the West kid from Kent State, I believe, was the D lineman that they got as well. So, based what they have, based what they put together, I think they're much better now than it was at the end of spring.
And people forget that JMU team was a top 20 team and very successful. Bob?
Jim, the echo is unbelievable, and I cannot hear a word you're saying.
I was wondering about that. Move away from that. We've been having some technical difficulties today. I'm not going to lie. So hopefully we can get that fixed in post. I forget what I said there, actually. But Indiana, I think, is being looked at as being Indiana because of the name, and it makes sense.
Sure.
That's what people are going to think if they're not covering the Hoosiers. I think that Curt Cignetti is happy with that. He's fine with that because that's going to allow them to sneak up on some people, at least for a while, unless they're able to make hay with that schedule that has been set forth to potentially be very successful with for them.
Right. Their schedule is very, very favorable, very friendly. I mean, look, they could get off to they should get off to a really good start this season. And if they can start building on some things and, I think they could be okay. Basically, I'm going to come down there today because I haven't been covering IU. I mean, hasn't been much to cover so far, and so I'm going to go down there and do an educational mission, learn a little something about IU, and get a sense of who Cignetti is and what he's all about.
Well, look forward to seeing you down here, man. As
all
always,
right,
no golf today.
No golf today. I gotta go to Colts first practices today. I'm gonna run out the door as soon as we're done, and I'll head on downtown and check out Curt Cignetti and the Hoosiers.
Well, all right, brother. We look forward to it. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.
All right. You too, guys. Be well.
We've got more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio for this.
This segment is brought to you by Hoosier Hanks East.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indyhomepros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf Community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio here on this Thursday and of Big Ten Football Media Days. Looking forward to talking to some of the IU players that are here. Justin Ellison, running back transfer from Wake Forest, will join us first. And Shannon, the running backs room is probably maybe I don't know if it's second or third as far as their best rooms. Of course, the wide receivers room is probably number one. I think the running backs are battling the defensive backfield because they have got a great defensive backfield as well.
Yeah, I think the running back room, you'll see a three-headed monster there. I think Shanahan, believes in a by committee type of running back room where you're going to see multiple guys get opportunities to carry the ball. I think that is what you need in today's football. I do think they add a little speed to that back end that they haven't had in the past. And I do think ultimately there may be one guy that comes to the forefront that is their featured back. But I do believe that they have three guys that can play the position, and each three has their own unique abilities that I think Shanahan is willing to see what he can devise each of them.
Absolutely, and it gives them just so many options as well. Guys that can get out of the backfield and catch the ball. So here in the middle, some of the players for Indiana, as I said, Ellison will be joining us here Thursday. Him and Coach Cignetti as well as the players, and big thanks to Greg Campbell and Jeff Kegg from IU Media Relations for always making these things possible and able to happen. Get you in there a little bit tighter there, bro.
I know.
Especially when the big boys get in here,
well,
man. We're going to have
to stay in
there. Squeeze in. There we go. But, yeah, anytime. Looking forward to talking to Indiana's players today to see what their thoughts are on this new Big Ten. Justin Ellison taking his spot now, man. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Shannon Griffin,
doing?
former coach at Ball State, and this is your first Big Ten Media Days, right?
Yes, sir. It is.
Transferred in from Wake Forest and from the ACC.
Yes, sir.
Big show. They call it the big stage, and you get here to Lucas Oil Stadium, and it looks like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a surreal moment. Just being here, I'm just really thankful for this opportunity, and I'm really excited for the season. I mean, I see all the Big Ten teams, and I'm like, man, like it's just surreal just being here and coming from the ACC and being able to experience all the teams I've always looked up playing against. So it's definitely something to thank you for.
Well, I can tell you from covering Indiana football for a long time, they've had their ups and downs, but there has never been a buzz surrounding just a new coach coming in, and as it is right now, along with the players like yourself that have come in, and the running backs room is rooms that's looking very deep and very good. But this has the potential to be a pretty spectacular season for Indiana football.
Get it around, man. I mean, this year has always been about us focus on one play, one day at a time. Just kind of focus on the things that we can control. And we're really excited to kick off the season. We know that we got to believe in each other. Look to your left and look to your right. Know guys to come together and be able to be a part of something bigger than them. And we're really excited for that. So there's going to be a special moment, and it's my 5th year. So hopefully I make it the best one.
Tell us a little bit about the transfer portal coming to Indiana from Wake Forest. How was that transition for you as an individual, both athletically, academically speaking? Because that's one thing that about the portal when you talk about the outside world. You're transferring from a place that you're very familiar with to a place that you're unfamiliar with.
I would say that, entering the transfer portal is something new for everybody. So you're not going through it alone. There's a lot of guys that are kind of going through the process of having to, change things around and adjust. But the great thing about the transfer portal is you have a group of men that are just focused on achieving all the great things. It's definitely challenging, but I would say as a 5th-year senior, it helps that you're not a rookie in the game. You know what I'm saying? So just being in that atmosphere, it's just like, okay, I know I got to get in the culture. I know what I got to do to play the best on this field. So you're not new to the game, and transferring from high prestigious Wake Forest school and coming to Indiana, it was like 9 days for me because schoolwork is what we had to do at Wake Forest. So ain't none.
Justin, everyone always has to fight to get on the field, but with Curt Cignetti's offense, it's like that is one that it offers a lot of opportunities for a lot of guys to get out there, and that's what his offense is so difficult to defend, is because you've got so many different guys who have so many different abilities that they can bring out, whether it's catching the ball out of the backfield or running out of the backfield, whatever it may be. But how are you looking forward to being in that type of offense?
Oh my gosh, you hit right on the head. I mean, when I first entered the transfer portal, I was like, JMU offered me when I was in high school as a receiver. So, I wanted to go somewhere that was explosive. Go somewhere that they really get me involved in the pass game. And, this program really showed that, from JMU into here, spring ball was a great, time to experience those plays. And I'm ready to be able to put it on tape, man. That's all. So really excited for that. I truly believe in his system and his process. I believe in our culture, our new culture. And just the grit that we have to be able to achieve more than we before. And you mentioned how exciting it is to be a part of all this, but there's also the part of being able to play against teams like UCLA in the role, playing against Michigan, playing against these big name teams and taking those challenges, Nebraska, the bigger challenges, but also do that while having a successful year. So that has got to be something you guys are greatly looking forward to. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're just trying to focus on, game by game. We know that, when we play UCLA, it's going to be a historical place. We know it's going to be a great place, but, our mind is pretty much focused on FIU. Just kind of making sure that, our mind is focused on one thing. Typical coach has got to be ingrained in you, man. It's got to be ingrained in you already. You got to focus on one game at a time because I've done years in college football. You think week 9, you don't worry about week 1. Shoot, he's going to have a long season. So, coach, he's already got it. He's got it going. I like it because in the game of college football, you have to focus on what is ahead of you, and you can't get too far ahead or you get slow. Be where your feet at. Definitely got to be where your feet at. So what are you looking forward to at the FIU? I'm looking forward to, we've trained so hard in this offseason. I'm looking forward to be able to actually go on the battlefield and have score points and be able to, show my team. Get some guys beside your teammates. I'm tired of going against Aiden and all them other guys. I'm trying to go get somebody else. So that's going to be pretty good too, to be able to experience that. Well, I know Indiana fans are looking forward to not just you, but everybody, the new guys that joined this team, because that means they have made a commitment to making things great. And people are looking forward to this. I mean, there's legit a buzz that I have not seen. And so I'm excited to see how it plays out. Yeah, me too, man. I'm really curious to see, West Coast team come here. I'm just happy for this Big Ten, and I'm really glad that this is a process that we all get to experience, and I'm just trying to soak it all in. So. Justin, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. Good luck this year. I appreciate you. Justin Ellison, a Wake Forest transfer into Indiana, into the running backs room, and he'll be one of those guys that you see getting the ball, where he's catching the ball or running it, or whatever the case may be. But we've got plenty more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and we'll back with all that and more right after this.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl at IndyHomePros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer. The Ugly Grouper, located on beautiful Anna Memorial in Florida, is the place to be, and not just because they have unforgettable meals, including locally sourced seafood. The Ugly Grouper has your favorite craft beers and cocktails, along with live music every day. The Ugly Grouper is family-friendly, able to host private parties, and has the biggest grouper you've ever seen. The Ugly Grouper is the place to be on Anna Memorial in Florida. Tell them Indiana Sports Beat sent you. Go to theuglygrouper.com for more information.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf Community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Ravesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
He's not.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you on this Thursday from the 2024 Big Ten Football Media Days here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and joined now by Aiden Fisher, a JMU transfer, defensive player for Coach Brian Haynes. And welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being with us. Shannon Griffin, of course, Coach Griffin joining us as well. He has some contacts with your former coach, or he has current contacts with your current coach. And he's a defensive coordinator. Said he gave him his first job, so bragging about that. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he is. The fact that he's been with Curt Cignetti for 9 years amazes me, because first of all, he doesn't look that old.
Right.
But the fact of Curt Cignetti's staff, that they have all been together for so long, the continuity. What does continuity in a coaching staff mean, and especially for someone who is coming from JMU?
I think the biggest thing with it is you know what you're going to get. Every day is a constant bring your best. They expect and demand excellence every day, and I think that's huge for a football program, especially one that's trying to trend in the upwards. So that's what they're bringing Indiana, and I think the guys have really bought into that. We're excited to put it on the field.
When you talk about your defense, how would you describe it in terms of the philosophical approach that Coach Haynes has implemented from JMU to here? What is that philosophical approach for you as a linebacker? Because you're looked upon as the quarterback right now. So what is that philosophical approach, putting it into your words?
3 words for it, which would be our defensive motto is fast, physical, and relentless. But I think within that, I would say a scheme that brings a lot of multiple looks. A 4 down front, a 3-4, a lot of different coverages, a lot of different blitzes. It's just something that one thing will look like one thing, but everything's going to look the same. And then post snap is when you're really going to see the multiplicity of it. And I think that's what brings a challenge to the opposing offense and how they have to prepare so much just to face the defense. They bring so much.
You're using a word like multiplicity in defense, boy, that sounds like trouble coming for somebody. So you have a good understanding of how the defense works. What has it been like mixing the other parts for guys who were either already here or came in from someplace else to get everybody on the same page?
Initially, it definitely starts as a challenge. There's a lot of little things like verbiage that we use that not a lot of other guys use from different places or even that were here at Indiana previously. So the biggest thing was getting in that meeting room with them, just doing things that where they're kind of adapting to our scheme and kind of what we do, how we talk, how we perform. And honestly, it's been great. Everybody's fully bought in, especially in the linebacker room, and we've had a lot of growth in that room.
Well, some of the rule changes this year, with 2-minute warning, all the things that are going to impact the game. But one of the things that the communication aspect, have you guys been able to work defensively with the helmet communication between you and the defensive coordinator? Because I think you're the one that actually calls the defense, correct?
Yes.
Have you been able to utilize the communication system?
Yeah, so we started using the green dot, I believe, practice 5 of spring ball. It's a game changer. I think it's awesome. Just certain things that, the ball's moving so fast, you're trying to get lined up, you're trying to get other guys lined up. And if I can just get a quick communication in my helmet, I'm not wasting time looking at the sidelines. If I know what the call is, I can communicate with the guys next to me, in front of me, behind me, and we get things rolling quicker.
How does it help when you're going against an offense who is kind of like Coach Cignetti's up tempo? They're trying to get the defense at an inconvenient time. But what does that do for you guys to help you defend against an offense like that?
You watch a lot of the film, especially even in the Big Ten. When the offense is going this quick, you see, certain players looking down at either wristbands, looking at the sideline, and they're missing the snap of the football. So by having this communication device in your helmet, I'm communicating as soon as that play is over. Previously, I'm starting to talk to my teammates as soon as possible, and they're getting the call, we're getting lined up, and we're not missing those key moments during the play.
Now, when you look at your elevation from JMU to the Big Ten, how have you found that transition right now with just the team with Indiana, but watching other teams? Is that going to be a big transition for you, or do you feel like, hey, I was just, players are players. They're good everywhere. It doesn't matter whether JMU or Indiana or Michigan. How do you feel that transition for you has been?
It's definitely a step up. We're in the best conference in the country, so we're playing the best players in the country week in and week out. It's something that I'm really excited for. Entering the transfer portal, there was nowhere or really no other place I'd rather be than here. So I want to be against the best players week in and week out. And I think my transition has been great. Being able to put some weight on, add some muscle mass, and kind of get ready for a bigger challenge, which is the Big Ten.
Speaking of which, UCLA on the schedule, get to go play out in the Rose Bowl. It's going to be a great challenge, a winnable game for Indiana, playing against teams like Nebraska and Washington, Michigan, and Ohio State. I know you guys take it one game at a time, but just looking at the schedule, if you looked at that and you thought, man, that's going to be awesome to get the opportunity to not only play, but to try to beat some of these teams.
Oh, for sure. A lot of rich cultures within these football programs. However, when you look at the schedule, it always starts at FIU. So that's our first thing, and kind of take it from there, looking into those games coming after us.
Yeah, it's becoming very clear that has been ingrained into you guys. Same thing with Justin a minute ago. You can't get them off in that first game, Coach.
No, and again, I appreciate that being a former coach. Nothing better to hear than somebody talk about one game at a time, the one that's in front of you. Look at defensively, who are some guys that maybe people don't know about? You got a couple transfers coming after spring ball. From Kent State, he played with mountains, of course. But what are some of the characteristics of some of your teammates around you that you think, hey, these guys are really are done?
I just say I would name Oh yeah. A lot of them are just high. You have Mikhail in that. I think he's going to have problems for opposing O-lines. If you look at the secondary, obviously we get runs. The safety, Sean Asbury's coming in. Already here's Nick Toomer. We got DJ Warnell from Arizona. Jameer Johnson's coming back. Jamari Sharp's coming back corner. And then you come down to the linebacker room. There's a lot that haven't really had their chance yet, but they're going to get their chance this year. I think Jalen Walker's going to have another great year. A couple guys coming up, the Josh Rudolph, who was here previously, Isaiah Jones here previously. And you go to the D-line, I just think there's guys all over. Marcus Burris, CJ West, like you mentioned, right. Which is a big get for us. JMF or Jacob, he's transitioning down to stud. I think he's going to be a big problem. Vanell Carr. And I could go all day.
No, I agree with you.
I'm excited for it. A lot of guys with a lot of energy that are really bought into what we do, not only as a defense, but as a team. And I know I'm excited, and those guys are even more excited to get after it, too.
Well, you got to have depth.
Right.
Ultimately, you have to have depth, and the guys behind you that are playing that backup role are one snap away from being the guy. So you've got to rely on each other.
Well, congratulations, and enjoy the new suit. Everybody get your new suit for
Yes,
New
sir.
Year's Day, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, enjoy that. We look forward to the season opening against FIU. We won't go any further than that.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate you, man. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Aiden Fisher joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We've got more coming up right after this with more players, and Curt Cignetti will be joining us as we'll come back to you right after this break.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indyhomepros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer. The Ugly Grouper, located on beautiful Anna Morale in Florida, is the place to be, and not just because they have unforgettable meals, including locally sourced seafood. The Ugly Grouper has your favorite craft beers and cocktails, along with live music every day. The Ugly Grouper is family-friendly, able to host private parties, and has the biggest grouper you've ever seen. The Ugly Grouper is the place to be on Anna Marie Island, Florida. Tell them Indiana Sports Beat sent you. Go to theuglygrouper.com for more information.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf Community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Rebesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details. By the Fresh Fork in Bloomington.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio coming to you from Lucas Oil Stadium on this third and final day of Big Ten Football Media Day, and welcoming in Mike Katic, a familiar face for Indiana football fans, the man in the middle, joining us now. And we were talking about your suit earlier because everybody gets a new suit for Media Day, but you're going to get a little bonus, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to get 2 suits because originally I got it fitted for one. It was like a nice blue plaid with the candy stripes on the inside. Unfortunately, it was lost. So this is a little backup suit, but I still look good, feel good. So
that's all that matters. So we're wondering, how does someone lose a suit like that has candy stripes on the inside?
I know, and that much fabric too.
Well, you're here at Big Ten Football Media Days. It's a big stage, bigger than normal. You've got 4 new teams with the 4 West Coast teams coming in. But you've been around this program. A lot of change with Coach Cignetti coming in, a lot of players coming in. How has that transition been?
Been seamless so far. He came in December. Originally, I was declared for the draft, so I didn't go to that first meeting with him, and then we had a talk, and I came back, decided to come back, and then since then, it's been a big change, but it's something we needed, I think, and I'm just really excited to see how this team goes into the fall and how we perform. I'm really excited.
Coach Cignetti's offense is one that is not static. Mm-hmm. It's going to move the ball. That has to be an exciting thing for you to look forward to with the, I don't want to say problems, but it's maybe issues that in Indiana's offense previously, not with the quarterback issues and all that. That does not seem to be going to be happening this year. Everything is going to be determined, and you're going to know what's going on and who's doing what. That has to be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Cignetti and Coach Shanahan, Coach Siri, all the offensive coaches are going to put everyone in a position to be successful. And I think, I'm really excited about this offense. And, the 4 guys that I'm surrounded by on the offensive line are, really excited to a new group. So we got to, find that new chemistry, that camaraderie, and that gel on the O-line. And it will come, with weeks. But, yeah, I'm just really excited to get the fall camp under Coach Bosa for the second year. I'm just ready to get going.
Talk about Bosa and what he has brought to the offensive line room. With his type of style of coaching, he's renowned as one of the better offensive line coaches in the country. Yeah. How's that for you and your teammates learning under him?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. He came in after the 2022 season. We didn't have a great season. As an offensive line, he came in and he let everyone know what the standard was in that room. And if you weren't meeting that standard, you were doing something wrong. And he made sure that if you weren't meeting the standard, you weren't playing. And that's, his thing. And he's an old school coach. He's going to walk into a meeting, and when he walks in, everyone get your notepads out and get ready to go. There's no really screwing off. And we just made so many strides after that 2022 season. I'm just really looking forward to getting another year under him at a different position and just learning as much as I can and, carrying my leadership and my skills, for the whole offensive line. Excited.
What has stood out to you most in this new offense under Coach Cignetti and Sinceri that they're bringing in? They score a lot of points. Yeah. They get a lot of yards through the air, but they use everybody, whether the running back, whether it's out of the backfield, getting the ball or running the ball, the tight end. The tight end had as many touchdowns last year as his top 2 running backs combined. So you don't know where the ball is going to go when you get to the red zone, from what I see.
Yeah, that's really exciting for the offensive line because, we do our job, and then you never know where the ball's going. So, it could go to any of the running backs out of the backfield, tight end. But we have so many weapons on that offense. I'm just so excited to watch them, gel and work together and just get open. And makes our jobs easier when, it's a long pass, touchdown. We can get off the field, go get some water. But, yeah, I just pumped, seeing everyone, just gel, honestly.
The beauty of that answer right there, did you hear him? Just get old, right? Come on, how hard is it? I'm fighting against a 3 technique that's 365 pounds. Can you get open against 180-pound DB.
I know. I've been telling all the receivers.
Simple.
I've talked about there's a real buzz amongst IU fans. There's still some that, wait to see attitudes. Just with the coaching change, I've never seen that. You've been in the program, and so you've seen year over year. What is the excitement amongst the players like yourself who were here last year?
So I could, compare that to the excitement that we were going into the 2020 season and 2021 season. It's kind of that same excitement of like, this is Indiana's year. There's a lot of just excitement around Coach Cignetti coming into town and bringing his staff, and I'm just really pumped to see all the fans in that stadium, and we're changing some things around. There's different traditions, but I think it's at the heart of Indiana football. It's going to be really exciting, and it's all going to have kind of the same roots. So.
Yeah, they changed the walk a little bit. It's probably make it a little bit nicer, moving Heps Rock up to the top where you guys and a new entrance, the tunnel, instead of coming out of the weight room.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's better or not. If it matters either way, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But getting people in the stands and staying in the stands is going to be huge for Indiana because they've shown they will come out. The Cincinnati game a couple of years ago, they were there, and it's there. They're waiting. It's like they're just waiting for this to bust, and they want to be a part of it, it seems.
Yes, absolutely. And if I was, talking to the whole fan base of Indiana, just come and support us. You will not regret it. I'm telling you, the atmosphere, the energy that we have and we're carrying this year, it's different. I'm just really excited, see the Rock packed in and see all the screaming fans, and I'm just ready to go.
You heard it right there from one of the guys. I mean, he couldn't say it any more specifically. He's telling fans, come out. They are feeling it. And I've not had players say that. I mean, it's, of course, you want to push your product, but you can tell it's genuine and that you guys are feeling it. And what has it been like to make this, what I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but coming together as a group with all these other guys?
I mean, it's awesome. I've been a part of so many different teams and so many different locker rooms, and I think this is one of the best locker rooms that we've had. Camaraderie of the team, it's different. I really love every single person on this team, and I'm really excited. They're all really good friends of mine. Like, we're hanging out all the time, going to dinners, and I'm just really pumped about this team. It's a great team, and I'm just really excited.
Well, Frank, we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you very much.
Wish you the best of luck. Of course, we'll be seeing you throughout. Man, we've got the big guy back there waiting, so we know not to keep him waiting. But Mike Katic joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio, a familiar face for Indiana fans, and we'll be back with Coach Curt Cignetti right after this.
Stay healthy.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Pick Coach Cignetti.
Enjoy healthy, delicious meals at home without the hassle with the Fresh Fork. Chef-curated, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. Proudly fueling IU athletes and now available to you with a menu that's always fresh and diverse, from hearty proteins to fresh salads. The Fresh Fork empowers you to make better food choices without compromising. Let the Fresh Fork help transform your lifestyle for a healthier way of living today at thefreshforkonline.com. Use promo code RADIO20 and get $20 off your first order.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouth-watering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer,
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of WOW Food Group.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indiehomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indiehomepros.com. In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
I haven't really even thought of this. I mean, it works to the start. Unless something crazy happens. You know what I mean?
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you, of course, from day 3 of Big Ten Football Media Days from Lucas Oil Stadium, joined now by Indiana head football coach Curt Cignetti. Coach, thank you so much for your time, first of all.
It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Great to have you. Talked to several of the players, some of them JMU transfers. Mike Katic, of course, has already been here. But the one thing, they all have this same excitement going for them, which is great to see. But also in covering for as long as I have, I've never seen just a coaching change bring the buzz that this has with it. But also, your coaching staff has been with you for a long time, and that's amazing to me that you can keep such continuity on your staff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key to success. You look at the 2 coordinators, 10 and 9 years, strength and conditioning, you got about 5 or 6, and then there's others too. So that's good that there's a buzz, alumni and players. Now we got to put them through.
Absolutely.
Coach, one thing, transfer portal, that's the new thing, and that's out there right now. But tell us about what you call your blueprint or a body of evidence when you're looking at a kid in the transfer portal. You're not just looking for somebody that's there. You're looking for somebody that has something that you can evaluate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I like production over potential, production numbers. I think that means something. Guys that find their way onto the field and stay on the field, regardless of the level they play at. It's not something crazy, but character is important to me. Stick-to-itiveness. It's a tough game. You got to be able to handle success. You got to be moldable. You got to be a good teammate. You got to be coachable, teachable. I'm not a selfish guy. Can't be up and down. So spend a lot of time trying to recruit the right guys. We're developmental. Everybody's got to be able to develop. With all recruiting development, not recruiting development, retention. So I like what we did in December, and we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of people look at some of the players that come in and they're like, well, these are mid-major guys, whatever. But I've heard you talk enough. It is not about stars or any of this. It's about the right fit, the right player for you, for your system.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys have some pretty good options, too. And regardless where they came, but, it really helps. Like, when I left JMU, the plan was not to bring a bunch of guys. The portal and the plan recruit somebody else. I think we were 13 guys. Those guys, I knew what they could do, and that helps. And it also helps with the culture because they're coming from a championship culture. And a lot of the other guys are coming from really good cultures too and have great production, and that helps too. So you mix in the other transfers, the JMU transfers, and the returners from IU. We have 44 new guys. I feel like we kept the right guys that have a chip on their shoulder, something to prove. We're the wrong guys, and it's all come together nicely. Now we got to take the next step.
The schedule is set up for a potential spectacular season for you guys. And looking at what you've done previous offensively. You've got a running backs room that is very full, a quarterbacks room that is talented, a wide receiver group that is maybe the best in the conference, and a schedule that there's a path to 6-0 for this team. Even further, who knows? But it's got to be exciting to look at that and know what the potential may lay out there for Indiana.
I'm not fighting on that. We're process oriented day to day, and doing what's got to be the best you can be and improve as much as you can, and then everything else takes care of itself. I've been picked next to last twice in my career. 2, we won a conference championship in 17. That team was 8-45 when we went in there. We were 8-1 after 9, won 8 in a row.
Exactly. You can ask Keg. I don't do a lot. I just stare at that schedule every day during the show in the studio, and I'm like, man, it's there, but I wish you the best of luck with it. And I know you got to go, but we appreciate you taking some time with us today. We hope to see you again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Coach Curt Cignetti is football coach joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio here from Big Ten Football Media Days at Lucas Oil Stadium. And Shannon, pretty much what we expected is business. And that is what Indiana football fans should expect. He's going to be business-like, but you also heard him throw down some truth and say, and that's kind of a shot at those who picked him second, or Indiana second to last. Which I get it. Like I said, they're looking at an 0-8 or an 1-8 Big Ten team last year. Well, this is not that. That's just like if you look at Washington, they're not that last year. That's not what they have. So I think it's going to be an exciting year. I'm not saying they're going to go 6-0. There is a path to that with that UCLA just hanging there like a go apple, I guess I'll say. But he is definitely, I can see that that's a challenge that he is already taking on him. If he's second to last, are you crazy? So it angers him, I would say, in a positive way.
Well, nobody likes to see your name at the bottom of the list, regardless of what sport it's correct. And, he talked about that chip. I think it's shorter because now he's in a situation where it's a rebuild, a retool. He's accepted that challenge. Now he's in the Big Ten that basically said, you may be Curt Cignetti, but this is still Indiana, so we're going to pick you here. And he's out to prove all those naysayers wrong. And I think what you saw from him was a little bit of I thought he was pretty laid back, really, with the season starting in next Thursday. When the kids report, he seemed pretty relaxed and confident in what he's done, and talks about his blueprint quite a lot. And I just think he's everything you want in front of him to lay out the plan he sees for this football team this year and years to come. I think the chip's there. I think it got a little bit bigger. And I think he likes his ball club.
Absolutely. We haven't had a chance to look at any of the comments, but looking at Robert, he says he just hopes IU can get some running backs that can move someone. So tired of seeing these two small overweight guys. Well, that's not going to be the situation this year. And again, part of that is because of the offense of Curt Cignetti. His offense is not a run first, where last year or years before that, Indiana was dead set on trying to establish a running team, which they weren't. So that's bad when you try to assert yourself as a running team and you're not a running team. That's not going to be the case this year. They're not going to say that we're anything. They're just going to run the offense. And I think that's kind of part of it. I would call them a passing team personally. Threw for over 3,700 yards last year, and I mentioned that his top two running backs at JMU combined for only 6 touchdowns. The tight end had 6 touchdowns. That tells me that when you get to the red zone, you have no earthly idea where this ball is going. It could be handed off. It could be thrown to a running back, to a tight end, to a wideout. It is going to be a wide open offense.
When I saw that statistic, I thought, to me as well, is the number of big plays that they've had in the course of the last year at JMU. The plays, what we call explosive plays, any play that's over, 25 yards on a pass, 15 yards on a run. They had quite a few of those. A lot of big-time plays. Something that Indiana has been lacking in their offense for the last couple of years, really like Penix, where you got that down-the-field vertical throw that set up the big play and ultimately touchdowns. And I think you'll see with that potentially with wide receiver room and the quarterback like Curtis Rourke or Taven Jackson be able to accomplish those things in the passing game with Shanahan's philosophy offensively. And I do think you're going to see some explosive plays out of this offense this year.
Oh, I think that's going to be the case every game. And I think Indiana is going to be one of those teams that you have to be on the balls of your feet all the time because you never know what's coming. And that's part of what keeps defenses on their heels is bringing all that in. And I've mentioned the running backs room that is so talented, not just running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield. Indiana didn't have that last year. They didn't have a throwing game. Bob Bostad did as good a job as possible of turning that offensive line around and giving them something. They were competitive in the Penn State game. There were games that they were competitive in. They just didn't have either the talent or the offensive sets to get the job done. And that will not be the case this season.
Well, and again, when you're playing a Penn State, Ohio State, even a Michigan for that matter, you have to have big plays offensively because you're just not going to line up every play and 3 clouds of cloud of dust and drive the ball 80 yards consistently. You have to have big chunk plays that get down the field. You're looking for 3 to 5. If you get 3 to 5 chunk plays down the field during a game, your chance of winning exponentially goes up as long as the defense doesn't give up the chunk plays. So that's what I think you'll see out of this offense.
And looking forward to that. And I think that, like I said earlier, Indiana fans, they're waiting for this to be good. They want Indiana football to be good. Football is fun. Tailgating is fun. But it's a lot more fun when you're winning and your teams are going to follow or go watch win or be in close games or be in competitive games with big-time programs like Michigan, like Washington, like Nebraska, who will be coming here on the road at UCLA. But that will only feed the fans. I mean, they got their first 5 games are at home,
right? And
if they're able to be successful, especially just going 4-1 in that stretch, would probably set the table, because then you've got a road game at Northwestern, but then you come back to back-to-back big-time home games against Nebraska and Washington, 2 more winnable games.
Yeah, before they play Nebraska, they have a bye, which helps them prepare for Nebraska 2 week. Honestly, no. I mean, I don't think if Curt Cignetti and his wild imagination would walk into a situation where he has 8 home games his first year as the head coach, I don't think he thought that would have occurred. But that's going to be a situation for Indiana as well as the fan base to get behind this ball club, because just like Mike had said, Katic had said, the center had said, the energy that's produced in Memorial Stadium when it is filled to the rim is something that the players thrive off of. And if they can put a product on the field that's exciting to watch, then it's up to the fan base to be that extra 12th man, as you'd say, in games that you have there at the stadium, because there's no place like it on a Saturday afternoon.
No, and I think that's going to be even better this year than it has been. I'm wondering what that first Florida International game is going to be like from an attendance standpoint.
Well, look, it's always those first couple games when you're playing teams that maybe nobody's heard of. It does create a little bit of, do I want to go or not? But I don't think that will be the case, just because I think there's enough people that are going to want to see this ball club take the field because of the excitement that you've talked about since Coach Cignetti's hired. There's the excitement that wants to see this team have success, Coach Cignetti have success. So I think you're going to have a pretty good crowd on hand when they play Florida International that first game. And then once that's occurred, it's up to those guys up on the field to put on a show and point on the board and get wins.
Absolutely, and that's pretty much what Curt Cignetti. He mentioned it a couple times. We've got to prove it. You've got to prove it. Which he knows that he's not just going to ride on the buzz that he came in on and the Google Meet stuff. I'm glad I didn't ask him about that. But I should have said, yeah, there's a big buzz. A lot of people Googled you. But actually, I should have asked him, what did you come up with that? Was that just all the cuff? Because that is kind of going to go down. Win or lose, that's going to be maybe not on his tombstone, but it's going to be hanging around a gold chain on his neck, maybe.
Yeah. Hey, look, he's calculated in everything he does, whether it's that's or what he did inside assembly during the basketball game he was introduced to talk about Purdue, Michigan, Ohio State. These are all calculated things from him. Because of his experience, his background, trying to change the mindset of people in surrounding areas. So what he does is perfect, and it's never anything that is off the cuff, so to speak. And I think that's the thing that you get with an experienced head coach. He's doing how is it, and he doesn't like tipping his hand, which I appreciate. Being he wants to keep things close to the vest as possible, and then the successes.
Yeah, I think most coaches are like that. They like keep things as they can, as long as they can, for reasons. There is definitely also, in place talked about culture and the culture change. It's definitely you're going from the LEO love each other, which is good for togetherness. I'm not sure how that translates onto the football field and a culture he's trying to build, which has nothing to do with negative towards that or any other thing. It's simply about doing the things you have to do and need to win.
Well, you heard him talk about the kids that have been with him, not Coach Shannon, Brian Haynes, and some others. Talk about his strength staff. There's one of the important hires you make in football. It's those guys, because they end up spending a lot of time with those kids, and they're the ones that help create that culture. So he has a lot of faith in that group. How type of work they've been putting in here in 30 some odd days when they play against IU. But I do believe like the excitement around the program is much different than what it has been. I just hope and pray that on that first night, this turn it loose. Because that's the other thing that you worry about as a head coach, is that you've got them to that point. Now I don't want to see them tighten up, because it's time for them to just go turn it. And I think you're going to see that with this team based upon what they like to do offensively, what they do offensively, is to turn the kids loose.
Well, speaking of game one against Florida International, do you expect a high-scoring game, a game in which they keep them off of the scoreboard as much as possible? Is this going to be not a trendsetter, but set a tone setter?
Well, ultimately, yes, you like to be a tone setter. FIU last year is not coming off a great year. McIntyre, I believe, is in his third year, if I'm not mistaken. Another former head coach that took over a program that's trying to rebuild. One thing that they'll have is athletes. And that's the one thing that in the past has caused some problems when that's on the other side of the ball. So I look forward to be a game that they will try to control from the top. Now, whether it's a game that has high points or low points, I don't think it's going to what he cares about. He cares about controlling the game and the kids do their thing. They got an opportunity against International. It's going to be a first game that there always is.
Game with a new team, in essence.
All right. And when I was at Ball State coaching, and you're playing like Minnesota or Indiana, those first games when you blow up a guy below that shouldn't have any presence in a Big Ten stadium, all of a sudden runs up and knocks somebody. And I guarantee you, because he came from JMU and other places, he'll have the kids focused in that just because they're Florida International and they may not be up to the speed that the Big Ten is, do not take for granted that team across from you, because they have as much a skill as you may have. They're going to be in a dogfight from go. And the whole component of those type of games is not to give them any hope and start driving the nails in the coffin early, because if you let a team like that hang around, that's when trouble happens. And that's kind of what happened last year in some of those early games with Indiana.
Well, and I in that early game, week 3 with UCLA, but something to keep note of, that is the third game.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be UCLA's second game, and it will be coming off of a trip to Hawaii, which, LA, so they open on the road in Hawaii, which is a great place to open. Didn't wrong, but that's also adding coach most improvement between is going to get more and more together. That's a benefit. Yes.
Well, it's going to with your. There's no question about that. Get yourself up to that game conditioning, because you cannot simulate it. It's very difficult to simulate. But at the end of the day, having that extra week to prepare, having that second game under your belt, you should be full ready to go. Have all the kinks worked out, so to speak, when you go out to Pasadena to play UCLA. It seems to me Hawaii gets this every year, where they get that team from whatever conference to come out to Hawaii because everybody wants to go. Not too many teams go out there with much success. Hawaii's been down, but that'll be a big test for UCLA, for Coach Foster in his first game of the year.
I'm looking forward to that. Hey, let's break, and we'll come back to Lucas Oil Stadium for Big Ten Fall Media Days, and we'll wrap things back. Sports Radio right after this.
In the market for a new or used vehicle? Well, nobody beats the prices and selection of Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. Right now, get a brand new Honda with no payments for 90 days. That's right, 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, HRVs, CRVs, Honda Ridgelines, payment-free for 90 days. Or get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on a 2023 Honda Ridgeline. Go to AndyMooreHonda.com and get more to your door.
Looking for someone to cater your next corporate event, family reunion, or tailgate? To some, a garnish may be nothing more than just a decoration put last on a plate. But in Bloomington, catering starts with Garnish Catering. Serving all of Bloomington and surrounding areas, Garnish Catering is waiting to help make your next event one to remember. Planning a great event shouldn't have to be stressful. Whether we quote you just for catering or a total event package, you can trust that you're making the right choice with Garnish Catering. Visit garnishcatering.com. That's garnishcatering.com. Garnish Catering is a proud partner of Wow Food Group.
If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indyhomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. Cheryl@indyhomepros.com. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouth-watering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big-screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33. Pizza, burgers, beer. The Ugly Grouper, located on beautiful Anna Maria in Florida, is the place to be, and not just because they have unforgettable meals, including locally sourced seafood. The Ugly Grouper has your favorite craft beers and cocktails, along with live music every day. The Ugly Grouper is family-friendly, able to host private parties, and has the biggest grouper you've ever seen. The Ugly Grouper is the place to be on Anna Maria Island, Florida. Tell them Indiana Sports Beat sent you. Go to theuglygrouper.com for more information.
Country living is just a swing away. It can be hard to find the exact home that fits your family's needs, so there couldn't be a better time to build a new home with Property Shore Construction. Now building exclusively south of Bloomington within the Stonecrest Golf community. Choose from one of the gorgeous Stonecrest Signature Series house plans. We have several lots available with scenic views of the golf course. Contact Amy Rhoda with Revesco Real Estate for additional information. 812-583-0919 or go to mystonecrestliving.com. That's mystonecrestliving.com for more details.
At 20.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio on Thursday, day of football media days from Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis. Jim Coyle with you and joined by Coach Griffin, Shannon Griffin. So finally, we're able to talk to Curt Cignetti, talk to Justin Ellison, Fisher, Mike Katic, three important parts for an Indiana football team and in a myriad of ways. You've got the defensive player and Aiden Fisher, and then, of course, Justin Ellison on the new guys from in the running backs room, and Mike Katic, one of the familiar faces that was here already. And ironically, the anchor on the offensive line. But it just seems like everything's coming together in Indiana.
Yeah, and he's going to be one of those guys that they're going to do upon to provide leadership. You know, he's kind of the bridge between the old and the new. Yeah, for in that regard, so that he can be able to lead that offensive line group with Coach Bobstead. And I think that's going to be a big, important facet for everything that's involved with this team this year, and what they can do as a offensive unit is all going to start up front. I do think they've got some depth there but where they haven't in the years past. So I do think, along with the running back room and the wide receiver room, offensively, I'm pretty excited for what they're going to be able to do on Saturdays. And then on defense, I do believe they've added pieces that they've needed to be a little bit more, productive in some of those arenas. And I do think that enabled them to do the things that they like to do and play some of the man-free stuff that they like to get into in their multiplicity as a defense.
Multiplicity again.
Oh, yeah, I'm using those big words.
I was reaching down to the turf because as soon as I walked in, the first thing I saw was the new substance on the field, not the playing surface itself. It's the same. But, you know, when you watch a game and you see a wide receiver drag that foot and the rubber pellets pop up, well, the rubber pellets are gone. And now we have, looks like, I know you can't see it, but it looks like sawdust, but in actuality, it's corkboard, right?
Yeah, I was told that it's like a corkboard type of substance. I almost think it's like almost like a sand combination as well. But with those pellets, those rubber pellets, over the years, there was so much controversy with that.
People are adjusting them.
Yeah, and the other bad thing was, if you got that in your eyes, it burned. It would burn, and the kids, face full of it, 9 to 10 times coming to the sideline because it was burning. So, I believe this was a new added substance that's going to make that safer. This is the surface that everybody's sticking to. I've even heard, though, there may be some that are wanting to go back to the true natural surface of natural grass, which I would be surprised if we went backwards with that. But at the same time, looking at it from an injury perspective, I don't think they found that surface ultimately eliminates the injury bug. But we'll see. I think it's going to be these fields up with this new substance.
Yeah, as long as you get grip, and I can't really tell a difference because you still have the same playing surface, and This is those just like the rubber pellets. This substance is to allow you to slide a little bit, allow your foot to slide a little bit, so it just doesn't lock down and you torque a knee and tear your knees up.
Yeah.
And that's what it's there for. Give you a slide and not so much grip. But I remember when my daughter was playing soccer and was a goalies a lot. Goalies were always having to deal with that.
Absolutely.
And it was talked about as being a health problem. So they're trying to find something, although that wasn't inject either, but maybe it's better than other.
Well, I think one thing that you pointed out there is that the rubber pellets, you had a lot more knee injuries because of grip that kids were getting at your foot. It was basically not being able to release from the grip they got on the field. And unfortunately, that led to a lot of ACL injuries. Hopefully, like you said with this, maybe it's a little bit more forgiving and you see as many of those type of injuries, as well as, like you said, the sliding apparatus as well, a little bit more forgiving than that rubber ice material, because quarterbacks take a slide and all of a sudden they just stop. They don't get the slide. So as in today's game, that's important for quarterbacks to get down and slide.
Absolutely, and for all the offensive and defensive players. I mean, to try to eliminate injuries as much as possible, because we've seen it too often how that can just change a team in a split second. I mean, when you've got a star, whether it's a star quarterback, a star running back, a star linebacker, and you lose that guy, and big blows. It's a big blow to the team, and so if it would be nice to have a team go through and not injury-free.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that has hurt Indiana through the years is them losing, especially their top 22, and the depth not necessarily being where it needed to be. I think it's better. I don't necessarily think it's to the point where they'd like it to be. Hopefully, Indiana can at least elude the injury bug for the better part of the year. Once you get to that second half of the season, everybody's beat up. I mean, it's just the nature of the game, and they're going to have to be as healthy as they can, because that second half schedule for Indiana is a meat grinder when you add the likes of Ohio State and Michigan in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, but at least for Indiana, that does come in the back end, and they're going to have a lot of chances to make hay leading up to that. As a matter of fact, their last 3 games are Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue. So 2 toughest games of the year come in the last weeks of your season. I don't know that you could ask for any more than that, especially you're going to end with Purdue, a winnable game. I'm not saying that they're going to win it, but it's going to be a very winnable game. It's also at home. So I am just wondering how the season this can truly be Indiana. I really believe that there's no way this team does not go to a bowl.
Well, it'd be nice to go into that last week of the season against Purdue, not having to have on their schedule.
It'd be nice if they went into those 3 or 4 weeks of the schedule and not have to worry about that.
Yeah, right. And that makes things a little bit more tenable for them going into those last 3 weeks of the season. But hey, that's Big Ten football. There's a lot of things that happen. You got to be able to adapt, adjust, and improvise. And we're going to find out pretty quickly where this club's going to fall, because we'll have a pretty good idea for 6 weeks of the year where they're at. And like you said, Coach didn't want to, he wasn't going to bite on it, that 6-0 possibility. But 4-2 at worst, that would be a reasonable thought. But
be a little disappointing actually, because that means you're either losing to Northwestern on a soccer field or home against Maryland. Given that the other game loss would be at UCLA, well, that's palatable. Palatable. You need to take that. But if they're anything less than 5-1, I think that's a disappointment. And that's crazy coming from a team that was 1-8 in the Big Ten last year.
Well, look at it this way. they're going to have to beat the Northwesterns and the Marylands of the world
Absolutely.
in order to get to where they want to go, whether it's this year or last year or 10 years ago. Those are the games that ultimately separate you from being a team in the bottom half or their team in the upper half. And the years has Northwestern done that, where they have beaten the teams they needed to beat to be one of the top teams in the Big Ten. And that's what Indiana's going to have to do. Those games are going to have to be games they win, whether it's Maryland, whether it's Minnesota, Northwestern, right down the list. Those are the teams that Indiana has to win.
Absolutely. And I want to make sure we thank everybody. Bob Kravitz joining us on the program today. Sorry to Curt Cignetti. We couldn't get him on, obviously, because of the schedule here with Big Ten football meetings, but we'll get back to him. Aiden Fisher, Ellison, and Mike Katic, Indiana football players that joined us. Grateful to them. And, of course, to Coach Curt Cignetti, Greg Campbell, and Jeff Keg for Indiana Media Relations. Thanks for all you guys do, helping us out with all that. We appreciate you immensely. And, of course, Coach Shannon, big thanks to him as always. And I wish we could do this. But thank each and one of you. We appreciate you. Without you guys, we have no reason to be tomorrow in the studio. So there won't be any technical issues. Apologize for any of those that affected your probably your cast listening. But we're back to do it again tomorrow, and looking forward to it. Until then, I'm Jim. Well, I will see you on the radio.
Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
I'm going to go ahead and let's re-record the start. Maybe if he needs that, he can. Oh, okay. Bring it in. Tyler, I'm re-recording the start for you in case you need this, and I'm going to start with the intro.
Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Fires upfield into the end zone. It is caught. Jelani Woods, touchdown! INDY! A 43-point night for Tyrese Halliburton.
How do you like that, partner?
Renew now, drives in low, throws up a shot. It doesn't go. Tipped up and in by Anthony Leal. Indiana takes the lead.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Now, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard and to Indiana Sports Beat Radio on day 3, Big Ten Football Media Day here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Joined by Coach Griff, Shannon Griffin, Jim Coyle, and looking forward to a fun day today. We'll be speaking with Justin Ellison, Aiden Fisher, and Mike Katic from Indiana football, as well as Coach Curt Cignetti and Bob Kravitz.